Welcome to Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy. Be sure you stay tuned to the end of the show to hear how you can get a copy of this program and other helpful documents. And now, it's time for Kerry McCoy to get all up in your business.
Hello, you're listening to KABF in Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm Kerry McCoy, and it's time for me to get all up in your business. For the next hour, via phone and email, my guests and I will be answering questions and giving advice to small business owners and to people who dream of owning a small business. You may be asking yourself, what makes this lady qualified to do this? And I'll tell you, experience. So in a minute, you can email or call and ask me anything. 40 years ago, with just $400, I started Arkansas Flag and Banner. Since then, it's morphed into simply flagandbanner.com with sales nearing 4 million. I started by selling flags door to door, then went to telemarketing, next mail order and catalog sales, and today we rely heavily on the internet. In addition, I've navigated Flag and Banner through 2 recessions and 2 wars. When people find out I'm that woman that owns Arkansas Flag and Banner, they often say, "Oh, I've heard about you," and begin asking me business advice. I amaze even myself with all the knowledge I've gained. If you call for advice from me or my guests today, you will not be given textbook answers or theory, except for maybe from Margaret. But you will be given candid advice from my real-world experience, so be prepared for the truth. It's not always easy to hear. For instance, you may not want to hear this. In business, there are very few overnight successes. Starting and owning a business takes persistence, perseverance, and patience. When I started Arkansas Flag and Banner, I supplemented my income by waitressing, all while I peddled my flags door to door. After 9 years, the company began to grow and solely support me. My first hire was a bookkeeper. My first expansion was to begin the manufacturing of custom flags. The next decade ushered in the Desert Storm War. Flags were scarce, so a screen printing department was hurriedly built to meet consumer demands. In addition to sales and manufacturing, Flag and Banner has a purchasing, shipping, technology, marketing, and call center department, and I spearheaded each of their development. My experience is deep and wide, and my advice is free. I hope you'll take advantage of this unique opportunity by calling or emailing me on today's show. Before we start taking calls and emails, I want to introduce you to the people at the table. We have Tim Bowen, our technician. He'll be taking your calls and pushing the buttons. Say hello, Tim.
Hello, Tim.
And today, I'm lucky because I have 2 guests today. Margaret Ellibee, 4th president of Pulaski Technical College in Little Rock, Arkansas, and her student, Maxi Dominguez. He's an entrepreneur also. First, I'll introduce you to Margaret Ellibee. I just love saying Margaret Ellibee. A native of Wisconsin and a graduate of Iowa State University with a BA in Science and Agriculture Education. Somehow, in 1983, and lucky for us Arkansans, Margaret landed in Stuttgart, Arkansas, duck capital of the world and home of Riceland Rice, teaching agriculture to high school students.
Yes, ma'am.
3 years later, Margaret moved to Fayetteville and enrolled in the University of Arkansas, where she earned her master's. Following her bliss, she returned to Iowa and worked in the Department of Education as an agricultural education consultant. Always a learner, Margaret again returned to school, this time at the University of Wisconsin in Madison, where she received a doctorate in philosophy and educational administration. In 2007, she put her accumulated degrees to work and entered the world of higher education as the vice president of Waukesha County Technical College in Pewaukee, Wisconsin.
Very good.
Thank you very much. This became the position that would springboard her to the presidency of Pulaski Technical College. You're very impressive. Next, and with her today, is Maxi Dominguez, short for Maximus. I don't know why you don't go by Maximus, but okay.
It's Maximiliano.
Oh, it's Maximilian? Oh, okay. I like that even better.
Even longer.
I like that better. A student of Pulaski Technical College who recently opened Rawi's Apparel, a clothing line that utilizes Squarespace, Facebook, Tumblr, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and other internet platforms to display edgy photographs aimed at the specific demographics, namely young people. Dominguez says, through this brand and website, I am able to diversify my skill sets daily while diving into my passion. Welcome to the table, Margaret Ellibee and Maxi Dominguez.
Thank you, Kerry, very much. This is great to be here.
Man, y'all are impressive. This is an hour-long show. We could talk about a lot of stuff.
We can.
But first, I'm just going to hit you with a hard one, Margaret.
Okay, go ahead.
Why go to college?
Why go to college? Well, Kerry, that's a great question, and it's a question that's coming up nationally, all over the country, is the value of higher education. And I think the value of going to college is this. You become a well-rounded individual. You have skills that you can build upon, and those skills are both academic, they can be technical, and that's why we're at Pulaski Tech. And then they're life skills. So if you have those three areas, the academic, the technical, and the life skills, I truly believe whether you're pursuing an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree, or you're going on to a master's or a PhD, you have those three components, you can succeed pretty much at anything.
I think that's well said.
Thank you.
Academic, technical, hence the name Pulaski Technical, and life skills.
And life skills.
We want to come back and talk to Maxi Dominguez, founder of Raiz Apparel, an online shopping store. But before we do, let's take a break to tell people you're listening to Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy on KABF. This is a mentoring show for small business owners or for those just starting their careers. My guests today are Margaret Ellibee, president of Pulaski Technical College, and her student and recent entrepreneur, Maxi Dominguez, founder of Raiz. Did I say it right?
Raiz.
Raiz Apparel. So there's a lot we could talk about today. We could talk about Margaret Ellibee and her interesting career in academics and agriculture. We could talk about Maxi Dominguez and his interesting new career in e-commerce and being a student at Pulaski Tech. We could talk about the future of Pulaski Technical College and what role it plays in our young people, current opportunities for young people, continuing your education, which I have done, and even agriculture in Arkansas, because you are in depth about that. But let's first start with, what do you see for young people getting out of college today?
Well, I see great opportunity.
You do?
Yes, ma'am. I truly believe if you have a very good college education, and I'll go back to Pulaski Tech. We're very fortunate to have Pulaski Tech in Central Arkansas. We have close to 7,000 students, and I think...
I thought you had 10,000 students.
No,
Seven.
not even long. We have 7,000. And I think with our graduates and with our students, they achieve their associate degrees or they get a certificate. And what that does for them is, again, give those essential skills that they need, whether that is in a career they're pursuing, a job they currently have, or they need those skills to transition on to a four-year institution.
Or they just need to mature. I was not very mature when I graduated from high school. I'm still not very mature, but I was 17 when I graduated from high school. I didn't know what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go. I mean, some people just need a few more years to mature.
Sure.
Which plays into your life skills.
Yes, and what again, the great part of a technical college is the fact that we have, for the majority, non-traditional students.
Is that
Students
right?
like yourself, Kerry.
That's me. I'm
Our
right.
average age is 29.
Oh,
so
okay.
many of our students, they'll graduate from high school or they go off into the world of work, and they either know what they're doing and get
Most
on a career
don't.
path, and then some don't. And
Yeah.
if it's Kerry, some don't.
Right.
And so then what happens is they'll find their way to Pulaski Tech, and they get a great education. We get them on a career path, a degree plan, in an area that they have a passion for. Maxie and I were talking about that coming over in the car, is you get them on that career path, and that career path will allow them to go back into business at hopefully a higher rate of
Yes.
pay, get them on a track that they can achieve more in that pathway, that career pathway. So they're always moving up the ladder in that business. Or they can go on to higher education, or they can do both.
Yeah.
And so if a student, an individual, Arkansan, can get through Pulaski Tech and have that opportunity and then have those three options for them to pursue, that's success for them. It's success for what they're going
say
into,
what those
their
three
business.
options were again. What were
Those three options are they can go right into the world of work,
Okay.
get a job, and usually at a higher wage
Because
than,
they've got a degree.
because they've got a degree or certificate. It's higher than a
Right.
high school degree.
Right.
So they can do that. They can go on to higher education.
Okay.
Many of our students are university transfer.
Right.
They go to Pulaski Tech, then they go to UALR or UCA, and they finish that 4-year degree in 2 years at those institutions.
But 2 years at both of them.
2 years at both. So
2
it's 4
years at yours, and then 2 years
Yep.
at U of A.
Yes, ma'am.
And then what was the third one again?
The third one is that they can do both. So
they can go on and get their degree, and then go on and get even a better job. Hopefully.
and get a better job. Mm-hmm. And what we see,
so it doesn't bother you when people come 2 years over to you and then go 2 years over to the other
ma'am.
school. I always wondered about that.
I think it's absolutely wonderful because they know what they want to do. They know they want to improve their lives, and if that happens, they're improving probably their family lives, and they're improving themselves as employees wherever they work.
And they're finding their passion.
And that's exactly what we need to do.
And Maxi, in the opening statement, I said about you, and I quote what you said on your website, because I went to your website, which we're going to talk about, that you said that through this brand and your website, I am able to diversify my skill sets daily while diving into my passion. Pull the mic up to you and tell me what diving into your passion means.
Well, my passions ultimately are my outlets. I believe that, we give ourselves reasons to live, and that's all that genuinely matters in our lives. And to me, in a simple word, that's passion. We all have the ability to dream, to think big, and my passion is what I am doing, Raiz, and I chose it because it was...
And what does that even mean, Raiz?
Raiz?
Explain the name of your apparel.
Okay, Raiz is a Spanish word. It means root and or origins, and I took that... I chose that word for one because it correlates to my culture, where I'm from. I'm from Argentina. My first language is Spanish, and that was just one of the many ways that I could just carry on my culture along as I, expose myself to new passions, to other creatives, to other beautiful things out there, and that's how my passion.
Did you know that when you went to Pulaski Tech that you were already creative and that you wanted to go to Pulaski Tech because you were creative? And what is your degree at Pulaski Tech?
Entrepreneurship.
Is that a degree?
Yes.
Am I in the book? Am I in the entrepreneurship book?
We can, yeah, sure.
Well, I'm in one of them.
Yeah.
Because I'm an entrepreneur.
You are. You're a great
That
entrepreneur.
is a great. I didn't even know that was that was really a course you could be.
Mm-hmm. And I chose just of how
Is it
broad
a 2
was.
years? Is it a 2 year course?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want, you can go on to the University of Arkansas at Little Rock and pair it with what?
You can go into business, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
Number of options. And that's the other great thing. Maxi's using his entrepreneurship with his clothing line and what he's doing with all his social media. And he's one great example. And we have many, many other examples that those students can go on to UALR, for example.
And it doesn't hurt your
business.
accreditation. What's considered graduating from Pulaski Tech?
Graduating can be a 2-year degree.
And that considered as a graduation for accreditation?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know that.
As well as certificates, all of that. So we have a great opportunity to impact a student's life very quickly with quality curriculum, with great experiences, and you meld all of that with their creativity. And again, Maxi's a great example of this. He has just this abundant creativity with his clothing line.
I know, I went to your website. And you really do target towards young people.
Definitely.
Because I don't even know, what's it say over there, Maxi? It says, shred, you have a khaki t-shirt.
Shred fast, die hard.
What does that even mean?
That's okay, so
that's not my clothing line.
That totally correlates just to, again, one of the things that have influenced me. Skateboarding. I grew up in the skateboarding culture. It's taught me about art.
What's shredding?
Shredding. It's a slang word of kind of like of just skateboarding. You know?
Okay. Shred it. Shred. I guess that means like shred it.
Shred fast, kind of like skate fast, and die hard.
I love that. So you go to.
Oh, we're getting a call.
Hello, caller. You're on there. Do you have a question for our guest?
Yeah. Could you ask Maxi? Can he give a more detailed explanation of what shredding is?
Is this Austin Massa?
My boy. Love you, dude.
I love you too, my man. That was my best friend, just giving me a hard time as always.
Oh, that's hilarious. Thanks for the call, caller. That's good. He must be a shredder with you.
Oh, definitely. I grew up shredding with this guy.
That's
Love
great.
him to death.
You go to school full time, and you work full time on your
Okay,
website?
so
How do you break up your day?
Okay, well, I'm currently enrolled at Pulaski. I haven't gone the past 2 semesters for very good reasons, business reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I am about a year away from getting my major in business entrepreneurship, but I am currently taking a break just to kind of lay out my foundations in for my brand, and then taking the next big step I have to take. And then once I get to that point, I get that little bit of opening where I can genuinely concentrate in school. That's when I'm going to go back.
You know, I bet that's true for entrepreneurs that go to school for entrepreneurship. There are opportunities everywhere, and it's hard to stay focused. That was exactly the problem that I had in school. So I ended up having to go back to school because there were just things I needed to learn about marketing.
Well, that's the beautiful part. You know, you can always go back in college, and Pulaski Tech has, been that great school where I don't feel like I'm being pressured to go back all the time. They understand where I'm coming from, and because of that, I'm able to manage my company and school and all these other things I want to accomplish in my life.
I think Margaret's heart really is in education, and she wants the best for everybody.
Well, and I think we're very fortunate to have the faculty and staff that we do at Pulaski Tech, and April Hearn has been one of Maxi's faculty members, and April is a great example of very passionate instructor, mentor, knows the content, knows the real world content, and when students come to her, and ask questions, they can get that theoretical knowledge, but they get the real world knowledge, and I think that can be said for all of our faculty at Pulaski Tech, and that leads to very strong substantive relationships between our faculty and our college with our students. And Maxi's not enrolled at this semester, but he's coming back because I'm going to make him go across the stage of graduation because he's that talented. And again, with a non-traditional student like Maxi, we have students jobbing in and jobbing out of education, and that's one of the great functions of technical colleges.
So I took a class at Pulaski Tech about, I was learning Word Perfect. I know, I'm really telling on myself, aren't I? I learned Word Perfect up there. And I wondered, I know that it was nice to get my tuition and my money for your income statement, but I wondered if people like me who are in the city that come in and out of school like I do, who just take a specific course because they just want to learn a specific, like I just wanted to learn a specific piece of software, if it hurts your accreditation because you're considered a dropout or...
No. And that, again, part of our mission at Pulaski Tech and a technical college is we can offer credit courses, which Maxi has been in, and that's you're working your way toward a degree, and then non-credit. So our non-credit courses, if I wanted to come in and take Word or learn the latest in Instagram, we have those non-credit, and I can sign up for those. And culinary right now is very popular with us for non-credit.
I know you didn't put your culinary school in downtown Little Rock. I'm a little upset about that.
That
was a little bit of a stink around
that was a bit of history for Pulaski Tech.
That
occurred before I arrived.
Oh, it was?
It did.
Is it that long ago already? Because you've been here 4 years.
I'm on my 4th year, at the end of my almost 4th year.
It was 4 years ago?
I think it was at least 6 years ago.
So you made the right decision, though, by leaving it out there?
And I
There's
think
more population out where you are.
I think the location where we're at right now serves our students very well. We're very fortunate in having tremendous staff out there, and we're very fortunate in getting our community groups involved with our Culinary Institute. We just hosted the Little Rock Chamber for a very big event in November. So we have public lunches and dinners there that anybody can come to.
Really?
During the semester, we have numerous community groups.
Is that your biggest college? Or is it? Or I'm not sure how you say this. Is it a college within a college?
Our program, biggest division.
Is that your
program.
biggest one? Or would you say it's agriculture? Or
No, we don't have any ag programs.
I can't believe that.
I
with
know.
Your background.
I'm sorry. Our culinary program is large. Our business program, our business division, is very large. Our health.
What do you mean, nurses?
Yes.
Boy, those
we
are
have
angels,
we have an
aren't they?
range of health programs ranging from LPN to rad tech to occupational therapy, all of it.
That is a great industry.
We'll be starting.
What do you think is the best industry for kids to go into right now? I heard there's got a shortage of engineers.
Well, it's really all over the board. If students choose to go into science, technology, engineering, and math, advanced manufacturing, our business community with advanced manufacturing here in Central Arkansas.
People don't realize that manufacturing is coming back to the United States.
It is.
I know. And exporting is one of our biggest industries.
Areas. And so we have that demand. We're, again, very fortunate. We have the tech park starting in downtown, so we're getting
What? Tell me about that. What's that?
Well, our tech park in downtown Little Rock, as well as the Innovation Hub in North Little Rock, are both areas where technologically related businesses and new businesses that could be like Maxi's, can come, start their business and integrate themselves.
Where is that tech park?
Tech Park is starting on Main Street in Little Rock.
What was Maine and what?
We've got to get you out more.
I've got to get
Carrie.
out more.
We got to get you out more.
Like we're on Main Street right now.
Yeah, it's all
down the
part
street.
of the Main Street in
What's
Little
the
Rock.
cross street?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Oh, okay, never mind.
It's
Maxi,
probably-
what was the hardest part about starting your job or your business?
I think, honestly...
Money?
Yeah, always. But honestly, probably finding the right coworkers and teammates.
Do you have workers?
Yeah,
You have employees?
I have. Well, I don't like
Is
to
that
call
your
them
friend that
employees.
called in?
I don't like to call them employees. I like to call them my team members. But they're practically like family.
So hip.
I am the creative director, and then my buddy Kurt Lunsford, he's our photographer for the brand.
Is that who? Did he? Are all the photographs on your website original?
Yes, that's right. And
He is.
he's
excellent.
amazing. He's amazing.
I thought they were from. I thought you stole them from a professional.
Oh
photographer.
no! He travels with us when we go to out of state events, local events.
What's
He-
an out of state event you would go to?
For example, in March I have 2 out of state events possibly. South by Southwest in Austin, Texas.
Is it a trade show where you try to sell your
Yes,
stuff?
it's a trade show, but it's also a huge music festival with.
Oh, do you
Very
set
cool.
up booths and try to sell your T-shirts?
Yeah,
that say shred fast, die hard.
And they will be shredding fast and dying hard.
You're going to do really well.
I love that saying. I'm just gonna say that to everybody in my office. Hey, y'all shredding fast?
But yeah, we'll be out there, and then I have Jenna Denny. She is our marketing person. She's in charge of what our next moves is. She's in charge of planning it.
You've got a good little business.
Oh,
going.
I love my team. Raíz
So
has
you
never
started
looked
by
this
yourself.
good.
Tell us how you started. You started by yourself, because I can't imagine starting a business today.
I started by myself. Simply,
At home,
At
watching
home.
TV,
It was
on
totally-
your computer.
it was totally DIY, which is do it
What's
yourself.
DIY? Oh, okay.
Do it yourself. I taught myself how to sew, and in 2013, when I started my brand, at that moment, pocket T-shirts with the funky little prints were extremely popular, and I just quit my job at that point at a nursing home, and it just came to my head like, I want to do something for myself. I want to create something, and I saw my niece one day sewing at her house, just came to visit, and it all just came together to me. I was like, all right, it can't be that hard to make a little square shape print pocket and sew it onto a T-shirt. My first one was horrible. I did it by hand.
Because T-shirts are stretchy.
Yeah, and I did it by hand, not even a sewing machine. I just said, oh, here's some needle and thread, and like, here I go. And that's how it honestly started.
You know, men used to always be tailors. You don't see a lot of men sewing these days, but they're great at it.
I
Got one
love
sitting
it.
right
I
here.
honestly
Do you love
sewing.
it?
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good outlet.
So, but you buy T-shirts,
Well,
and do you screen print them yourself?
yes, I'm actually a screen printer. I've been screen printing for about 2 years, and I do.
You do it by hand or with a machine?
I mean,
You got
technically
a
it's a,
screen
it's a
printing
manual machine.
You got one, huh?
So I got my little, setup, and
Mm-hmm.
we print our own shirts. We also
Who comes up with with slogans?
the slogans. Well, "Stay True" is the brand slogan. I came up with that, and in terms of designs and stuff like that, I work with other illustrators or artists themselves, because I'm not the perfect drawer, but I come up with the creative concepts, and then I partner up with the perfect artist or illustrator, and we make it happen.
And then you make a print and you shoot it on your screen. You
And
expose
then we go into production, and then
and you print them up.
print them up.
Do you print them up as a bunch of them at one time, or do you print like screen printing does, or do you do onesie twosies?
Yes, actually, that's one of the biggest points of Raiz. All of our apparel and all of our lines are extremely limited edition. We do a very limited stock of them, and our purpose of doing that is we're creating culture. We want to sell something more that's just threads and cotton.
Girl,
We
Isn't
won't,
he cool? it
you're
just makes me
cool.
proud.
and that we want
shredding
something
it.
more.
He's
I'm shredding out here.
All right, you're listening to Maxi, founder of Raiz Apparel. This is Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy on KABF. It's a mentoring show for small business owners and for those just starting their careers. So you're a really hip dude. What do you want to do next? I'm sorry, I'm going to talk to you again.
He's the star.
He is. And
Well-
he stole the show from us.
That is fine.
I have a new big idea that
come
I
on
am
with
about
it.
to venture into. It's another business idea, and I think in 2017 it will be up and running.
Is it a web-based?
No, this is actually going to be more of a service. I plan, since we already do in-house manufacturing and branding and marketing.
You talking about manufacturing of T-shirts?
No, more screen printing. We
Screen
provide that
printing of
service.
T-shirts. And do you screen print on anything besides T-shirts?
Anything you can imagine.
Could you screen print flags for me?
Let's do business.
I quit screen printing because it's too dirty.
It is very, very dirty.
I know. I took it down.
But somebody, has to do it, and I'm the man.
Well, it's an art form.
It is an art
And I'm
form.
not artistic. People think I am, but I am not.
I think I was born artistic.
I know. Look, you think I am too, don't you? No, I'm not.
You've got great taste.
I just like clothes.
Yeah,
But I'm not
You've got
artistic.
great taste.
Great fashion taste. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank y'all very
Yeah, you're
much.
welcome.
I was begging for that compliment. Why not? So, what's the largest thing you'll screen print? Because my smallest flag is a 3x5 foot flag.
I can print.
T-shirts are small.
What size did you need?
3x5 feet. I bet it's too big.
Make that happen. I'll
Okay.
personally make you a screen for that.
I probably have one. I'll give you.
Perfect.
I probably have a bunch of screens to give you, actually. But they're probably all warped.
Hey, we'll make it happen someday.
There we go. And they're made out of aluminum. They're not. But back when I first started screen printing, you made screens out of wood. Are you making your screens out of wood?
Oh no, they're aluminum.
Yeah, now we make them out of aluminum. They don't warp, but they would get all.
Yeah.
For people listening, they don't understand, but screens are like a screen door, and you push ink through them, and you block out the area that you don't want the ink to go through, and you open up the area that you do want the ink to go through, and it's really like a screen door, and you just push the ink through onto your T-shirts, and it makes these print. It's a nice art form. It's one of the oldest art forms.
Silk screening. Yes, it's been around for the
Centuries.
longest time.
So what did you learn from, well, Margaret, I'm going to go talk to you. I'm sorry.
That's
I keep
all right.
talking to him. Let me see. I've got some questions for you. I know one. This is the hardest one for me. Picking a college. When you come out of school, you're scared to death about the college you pick is going to be critical to the rest of your life.
Sure.
If you don't pick the right one, your whole future is going to be ruined because you just
Well,
put all these pressures on
might be
yourself.
delayed a little bit, but
You put all these pressures on yourself. I went through it. My children went through it. What can you say to people that are about to pick their college?
well,
How should they
I
pick
think
it?
the best thing, in looking back on my experience and some of our students and friends and family, I think you have to educate yourself. Do that web search really well.
You know how my daughter and I picked colleges?
How'd you do it?
How many the girl boy ratio?
Oh. we'll need to talk about that. I'm here to help you.
She's listening. She's going, that's true, we did.
Oh,
I'd say,
Mama.
Megan, you don't want to go to that
Mama.
school. There are 80 girls and 20 boys.
Yeah.
She'd go, Mom.
It's a little bit more than that.
Did I say that backwards? 80 girls and 20 boys? Yeah, we don't like those.
But it's figuring out, looking at those schools online and knowing what you're passionate in. And we've talked about
people
that
don't
this
know.
afternoon.
You're
But
lucky, Maxie.
But if you don't know, then you go to that college and you take that visit, and you go to an advisor.
you get a feel for the
You get
campus.
a feel, and I'm a very contextual learner, so I always have to see, and I have to interact, and I think with many of our students, they're the same learning style, and I think if you can go and see and interact with someone, and if students can't go, then at least call an advisor, and say, here's what I'm thinking, and at Pulaski Tech, for example, a student can come. We can assess them for their career aspirations and what their passions are and what they really like to do, and then put them into career pathway, a degree plan that matches that passion. And I think, again, looking across higher education across this country, certainly at Pulaski Tech, what we're trying to do is individualize that degree plan and that passion for a great, successful educational experience for the student. And if you can match that up, if a college can match that up with Maxi
Look,
or
he's nodding.
Kerry
He agrees with you.
or
He agrees
Margaret,
with that.
then that student has a great chance of succeeding. And then once that student's there, then it's the college's responsibility to make sure that we have the best faculty that are touchstones for that student, that know that student by name,
I can't imagine.
knows what that student is doing, and if they've missed class for a week, then I can call Maxi up and say, Maxi, what's going
How
on?
do you do that? You have 7,000 students. How can you possibly
We
do
have
that?
great faculty and staff.
Look, he just keeps nodding over there.
Who make an effort to know our students.
Well, what about University of Arkansas at Little Rock? They've got 40,000
I think
students up there.
they probably try to do the same thing.
I think they
and,
try.
I think where you see college and universities, and it doesn't have to be the university or the college as a whole, but as an individual faculty member or instructor in that classroom, this is just Margaret's opinion, it's my responsibility to know my students and know what triggers their passion in class, what their challenges are, both in class and out of class. And when I have that familiarity, then I can make that bond with my students, and the success of my students then, I think, goes up.
So you said Pulaski Tech will help a student in their business success if they want to go into
Sure.
being an entrepreneur by academics, by technical, and by life skills.
Yes.
So if you're just not mature enough and you don't know what to do, go to college.
Well, what we can do, yes.
I
If-
like the idea of taking a
if-
year or two off and then going to college.
Yeah, and that many.
What do they call that year?
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, no. What do they call that year? Tim, you skip leap year. No, that's not
No,
it.
Let's just call it leap year. I like that.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
Gap year.
Gap year.
Yay, Kerry.
And I know that's becoming very popular.
I try to get my kids to do that. If you want your kids to do something, just tell them to do the opposite.
Yeah,
Because I said, take a gap year, find out who
Sure.
you are, what you want to do. They're like, nope, straight to college.
And again, I think that depends on where that student is at that particular point. For example, I had a great agriculture teacher, and he came to our middle school in beginning 8th grade, and presented to the class, and I thought, this is what I want to do. And it matched up with my interests, at home. And
Did you grow up on a farm or
no,
something?
grew up in the city.
Oh.
Grew up in the city, and so I was fortunate to have that, and that sparked my passion.
A teacher can make
And-
or break your
yes.
decision. My
Yes.
daughter was going to go to school to be a doctor, and she got a terrible biology teacher, and she completely changed courses.
Well, and that's unfortunate.
It is,
but
but it
can certainly influence what you do. Sure.
It really can.
Yeah.
There's mentors all over. I'm reading this current you probably know this guy, but I'm always reading a self-help book or listening to one on tape, and it's Eckhart Tolle. You know who that guy is?
No, I've not heard.
He's this spiritual kind of, self-help guy, and he says life will give you whatever experience is most helpful for your evolution.
Yeah.
So I think that I wish someone told me that when I was young, because I think that would have taken the stress off of everybody's expectations that they put on you about the path that you should take. Because people often ask me, how did you end up in the flag business? And I always say it was a series of bad luck.
But it was meant to be.
But that's what he's saying.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
Yes, so if you just go ahead and kind of say, I'm floundering, but I'll just keep floundering in a positive direction, and then there will be paths that lead me in certain directions, and then you don't have to feel like every day you have to make the perfect decision for your life, because life will give you, as he says, life will give you the experience that is most helpful for you to reach your destination. I loved that. Yeah. What's the difference between a 2-year college and a university?
2-year college, it can be a community college or a technical college. 2-year college offers an associate degree, so that's a 2-year degree. A technical college, in our case, we have associate degrees and certificates. 4-year institution or a university has bachelor's degrees, and then they can certainly build upon that and have master's degrees and doctorates. So there's a distinct difference between the two. Just depends.
Doctorate? You can't get a
doctorate.
You can't get a doctorate at college.
You could, but at a 2-year college. If it's a community college or a technical college, you cannot.
So I went to a 1-year college, no certificate.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what I went in, Maxie? Fashion merchandising.
Ooh, how was that?
Oh, I know, right? You and I are kindred souls. Maxie, what was the defining moment when you said, I'm going to launch my own apparel website? Was there one thing that you just woke up, well, you saw your little sister sewing.
My first eBay sale.
Oh, really?
I was so shy and so scared of what the reaction of my local community would be. Just judgment. I feared judgment at that point. I was still young, and that was a big thing about me. But
how young were you?
well, let's see. I was probably 18, 19.
Oh my gosh. You are a born entrepreneur. I thought I was young when I started. I was 20 when I started Flag and Banner, but you were 18.
And
was it your sewn shirt that you made at 18?
Mm-hmm.
And you put it on eBay.
Yeah, because I was too afraid to put it out here locally in public.
So you didn't have a website. You just made a product and you put it on eBay. Was that hard to do?
To put it on there?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Everybody's doing it, so it must not be.
No, exactly. And literally within a week, I got my first order from Kentucky or some odd state.
And then how did you keep it going?
Well, I just needed that one sale to manifest enough courage to just be like, all right, let's do this. I just needed that.
So
one
what
sale.
does do this mean?
Do this that same day that I got that first order in through eBay, I made an Instagram account, followed all my friends and local people around here, and pretty much I just put it out there like, hey.
So you put a copy of the product on Instagram and said this is $22 or however much it is.
Yeah, and at that moment I was selling T-shirts for just $10 or whatever, just to get my name out there.
And how many orders did you get?
Oh, I got plenty of orders within the first
From just
week.
friends and family
on
Instagram.
Mm-hmm. And then from there, like a couple months later, I got invited to vend at my first local show. And,
what's a local show?
Well, you have a lot of
a band local show?
Bands or rappers. You have a lot of upcoming artists who are constantly doing great things, and
you just went out there and mixed it up and socialized.
Right. I like to build community, and that's part of just building culture, and teaming up with other artists and creatives like that is amazing.
You've got a call. Hey, you're on the air. What's your question? Hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, you got a question for Maxi or Margaret?
I have a question for Maxi.
Hello.
Hello. You have so many different designs, and they're all cohesive together, but they're also very different. Where do you draw the inspiration for all your different designs?
Inspiration comes from the things that I'm personally interested in. Like I've stated earlier, Raiz is just an outlet of me. So, I've been involved in the music scene locally, and it's impacted my life in so many ways. Skateboarding has practically created who I am in terms of lifestyle and the things that I'm into. My family orientation and where I'm from has a lot to do with what I implement into my designs and everything. So, yeah, race is just a bunch of things that really impacted my life, and now I want to share it with the world.
Thank you, caller. I'm just flabbergasted by this guy. I keep forgetting. So you took your Instagrams. You did good. You started selling them. Did you deliver them by hand? Did you ship them?
At first, if it was a local order, which most of them for a while they were, I just personally meet up with people, and I loved that. Honestly, I still wish I could do that till this day, but
now how do you deliver your stuff?
Through mail.
Do you take it down there?
Yeah, I usually just go to the post office. I have a couple of days out of the week that
you mail stuff.
Come in with my little duffel bag.
So you printed up T-shirts and went to band shows and sold them pretty much at band shows. Are all you doing is T-shirts?
No. My Raise at this point is a lifestyle brand. We do women's fashion, men's fashion, accessories.
Well, you're not making your accessories. So you're now
Well,
a
accessories
reseller.
doesn't like hats and stuff like that. Some of them we do,
gotcha.
yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you're putting your brand on. So mostly it's putting your slogans and your inspirations. Branding. It's mostly branding.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. You got plans for a big store?
Yeah, I would love a brick and mortar. Currently, I don't know when I would like to get to that point, but I'm thinking that I want to focus locally first. That's my big thing.
That's smart.
Until I feel like I've made the impact I want to make here, I would like to honestly move to a bigger city.
What? Don't you leave us?
Oh, no. I want to do wonderful things in my community, but, once I built that relationship with everybody here who's helped me, get to where I am today, I got to expand out. I have a message I want to put out to the world.
Well, I tell you, sticks and bricks are expensive to maintain. I don't know. Pulaski Tech, Margaret, didn't you tell me that the University of Arkansas?
Yes.
And you have now joined forces?
We will be joining into the University of Arkansas system.
That's exciting.
Which we're very excited about. And with this, it will allow our students, I think, greater access to very substantive articulation agreements.
What does that even mean?
Well,
what
and
did she say?
here's that. It's real easy. It means that their program of study at Pulaski Tech will align directly with their program of study at a University of Arkansas.
So they can do
college.
2 years with you and transfer more easier.
And then they don't have to repeat anything once they get to the 4-year
because they
institution.
say, oh, your curriculum
because
wasn't exactly
it's an
the same.
articulation agreement. So
articulation
should
agreement. Be a curriculum agreement.
And it is. I mean, and that's what it is, Kerry. It is totally a curriculum because we have to align
then
our
why don't
curriculum.
They use that word?
Well, we'll
We're
use it from now on. Talk to them.
Good, thanks.
So that's very good for our students, and we're thrilled about that. We'll have some cost savings because we're joining a larger system, and so that will be good for
What about
the
when
college.
kids? We're running out of time. What about when kids graduate? How do you help them find placement?
Oh,
I shouldn't call them kids. Young adults.
Young adults, our young adults and our adults.
Oh, and adults.
What we do, and again, it can be the faculty member in the classroom. They have direct ties to business and industry. So many times students can get that job interview directly through a faculty member. We have a website that students can go to that we've just put together.
So I could post job openings on your website?
Yes.
I've got one right now.
Give it to me and or send
Post
it to me
it up
email
there.
and we can post it. So there are those mechanisms where students can begin to look for jobs, and then we're connected with state.
You know, the one gripe I
websites.
have about colleges, they don't teach children to take showers and wear decent clothes or cover their food in the microwave.
Well, and
Their parents should be doing that, but they come in so grungy. I'm like, hey, this is not college. You have to dress appropriately.
Again, I guess I'm biased because I'm president, but that's where the life skills
That is exactly
that
right.
we teach at Pulaski Tech.
That is so true.
Whether it's in our speech class, and we again, our faculty in speech are great, and how you make that eye contact, how you present yourself, how you shake a hand.
Good job.
All of that is great for students.
So I think I love to learn. I'm not very good in the classroom, but I do love to learn. And I have gone back continuing my education. I think everybody should. I think that's one of the reasons that people are having a hard time
Lifelong learning.
at 50 and 60 finding jobs, because the jobs that they were skilled at are no longer there. And it's a new set of jobs, and they need to go back to, and Pulaski Tech is the perfect
We would
place to
welcome them.
go back and learn about computers and marketing. Anything. I mean, I was 40 years old when I learned how to turn a computer on.
Well,
Yeah, now I own an internet company that sells over $1 million a year on the shopping cart.
look what you've done.
That's what I'm
Great
telling to
success.
everybody else. They need to get out there
Great
and relearn
success.
some stuff. And
Yep.
and there's a lot, and it's going to change again in the next
It
10
will.
years. So when do I get to go for free? What age?
I think it's 60 or 62. We'll talk.
So do y'all have anything you want to say to any budding entrepreneurs out there? You probably do. Oh, you spoke. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Really, what I would have to say to everybody is just don't stop. Dream big. Dream as big as you can, and just always remember that it's always possible. Like, nothing is impossible.
Did you read what I wrote to ask you about? Because you played right into that. People are going to think we rehearsed this. Howard Schultz, from the chairman of Starbucks Coffee, gives a tip on how to be successful. And I love watching biographies of people. And one of his top 10 ways to be successful is, he says, dream big, and then dream even bigger.
Don't stop.
And the other one is don't ever stop. Did you watch it?
No.
Well, it must be true. So we got a few minutes. Talk about agriculture.
Oh, gosh.
Isn't that a top industry in Arkansas?
It is. I have not been in the agricultural industry for a long, long time, but you look at our timber industry in this state, and certainly...
How about blackberries?
That I don't. I know we have a growing
Yes.
fruit production in
One of
Northwest Arkansas.
Dr. John Clark was one of my son's mentors. My son is a horticulturist.
Oh,
and,
wow.
And he is a renowned blackberry breeder.
Yeah.
And the reason you can get blackberries today in the grocery store, because you used to only be able to get on the side of the road because they were so fragile, and the reason you can get them today in grocery stores and that they're tough enough to ship and travel and be in grocery stores is because of the University of Arkansas's breeder, Dr. John Clark, in Clarksdale, Arkansas.
Wow.
That's tremendous.
I wouldn't have known that.
Well, and you look at the apple production in this state, and again, what the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville in their ag department has done with developing various apple varieties. Certainly, our rice
wow, isn't that the
production
truth?
in this state, and being an old Stuttgart girl, it's tremendously
How did you
important.
end up in Stuttgart?
There was a position open there, and I was lucky enough to apply and have
You
an
call that
interview.
lucky? Stuttgart,
Yes.
Arkansas.
Yes.
I've been to Stuttgart.
Great experience.
Well, there's got some
If
big
you can
mosquitoes
live through
down
the
there.
mosquitoes, you can live through
That's
anything.
right.
Yes.
Golly, isn't that the truth? Well, this Dr. John Clark is now developed. He's doing breeding. I was just in the newspaper about his wine grapes
Wow.
that he's changing and doing. And I know that Arkansas used to be known for apples, and that we kind of died off.
Yeah.
I think during the Civil War they died off, and I've seen them in the grocery store. Some Arkansas apples are back.
And you look at our again, wine business industry in this state, and the viticulture that, again, University of Arkansas has led the way with, and we're very diverse in this state agriculturally.
I know, right? I love it. It's a big industry. So, Margaret, if every time you come on the show, you get a cigar.
Oh,
and
wow.
Maxi will like that. That cigar is for birthing your business.
Really?
My
yeah,
gosh,
and
thank
that
you,
cigar is
Thank
for
you so
Wow.
much.
birthing a lot of children.
Well, we provide
Pushing into the
the
world.
support for the traditional students who are coming out of high school, the non-traditional like Maxi,
Like me.
like you,
Continuing education.
and they are the dreamers, and we provide the structure for them, and then they succeed.
They are lucky to have you.
Well, it's a
And I'm
two-way
so
street. We're
glad
lucky to
that
I
have them
genuinely
Maxi.
was
too.
lucky to have Pulaski Tech.
Oh, that's great. That cigar came from the Humidor Room at Colonial Wine and Spirits on Market Street in Little Rock, Arkansas. You're welcome. One of the great travesties of life is that wisdom is not transferable, but it can be shared. Thank you to Margaret and Maxi for sharing your wisdom with us.
Well, thank you,
Thank you.
Kerry, for having us.
So you can tweet, share your wisdom with the hashtag #ShareWisdom. Thank you to my guest today, Margaret Ellibee, 4th president of Pulaski Technical College, and her student, Maxi Dominguez, founder of Rae's Apparel, an online store. Next week, our guests it's going to be a father and son duo. Father Eric Herget, an insurance entrepreneur, and his son Ryan Herget, who y'all will know this, who recently built a business called Chef Shuttle.
Oh, I love Chef Shuttle.
I know. Well, he's going to be on next week. Yeah, I can't wait to hear all about that. That's a really interesting business. If you've got a great entrepreneurial story you would like to share, I would love to hear from you. Send a brief bio and your contact info to questions@upyourbusiness.org. Uh-oh, I had a question for you. It came in late. Let's see what it is. Oh, Margaret, you're going to have to answer this one. Well, I think you might have a minute to answer it. Being the president of a college, how do you manage the business side of education?
Oh, that's a challenge.
I
And
bet it is.
You've got to have great fiduciary, or the fiscal end of things. You have to have the legal things all down, and you have to balance that with the education and then the heart. We have heart at Pulaski Tech, and
You really do. Look,
and
he's nodding
you
again.
have you have to be able to balance all of those, and if you do that successfully, and you've got great people, you have a successful college.
Yeah, because just running a college is a full-time job.
It
Now
is.
you got
It
to
is.
throw in all the other stuff.
yeah.
Do you ever sleep?
It's a wonderful job to have.
Oh, that's good. If you've got a great entrepreneurial story you would like to share, I would love to hear from you. Send a brief bio and your contact info to questions@upyourbusiness.org, and someone will be in touch. And finally, to our listeners, thank you for spending time with me. If you think this program has been about you, you're right, but it's also been about me. Thank you for letting me fulfill my destiny. My hope today is that you've heard or learned something that's been inspiring or enlightening, and that it, whatever it is, will help you up your business, your independence, or your life. I'm Kerry McCoy, and I'll see you next Friday at 2 p.m. on KABF Radio in Little Rock, Arkansas. Until then, be brave and keep it up.
You've been listening to Up Your Business with Kerry McCoy. Want to hear today's program again or want someone else to benefit from it? Jot this down. Within 48 hours, the podcast will be available at upyourbusiness.org or at flagandbanner.com. Again, that's upyourbusiness.org. Click the tab labeled Podcast. There you will find today's segment with links to resources you heard discussed today on this program. Kerry's goal, to help you live the American dream.